Revolution, it's a common term in history. We heard it many times in agricultural industry, but the present time we are going to hear it's in the finance. Yes, we are in the mid of financial revolution. That is going to happen by the introduction of Bitcoin, which is in 2009. Yes, we are going to discuss today about Bitcoin. Welcome to the session about Bitcoin. The first we have to cover history of money. Then we are moving to Bitcoin. What is it? How? Who? And why Bitcoin is important. That's we are going to discuss in today's session. First, we can go for money. What is money? That's a very common term we know. In simply, we can say that money is a medium of exchange. We are using money to purchase something. We are paying for our services. Okay, we are using money as a medium of exchange in the present scenario. So let's move. What are the features of money? We can discuss. First one, it is durability. That means it need to be safe or it need to be capable to carry for some time. Assume that if you are using something as money which is very perishable, it will not be usable for a long period of time. So first feature, it should be durable. And second one, it is portable. Of course, if you are using something as money, it should be portable. If you need to purchase from one market, from another market, so we have to carry money. So money should be portable. The third one, it should be divisibility or it should have divisibility. That means it can be divided into small pieces. Suppose in Indian economy, assume that we only have 2000 rupees note or currency, we only have 2000 rupees. What will be the issue? We can't purchase anything lower than 2000 rupees. Divisibility is the another factor or another feature that money is to be. And the last one, it should be limited supply. If we all are capable to produce money, what will be the value of money? We all are capable to produce, so we can produce. Whenever we need, we can produce it. So the another feature of money is limited supply. So that's why money have the value. So now we can move to the history of money. From here onwards, we are moving the entire revolution of money or financial sector. So first, we used commodities as money. Commodities in the terms of the common use of materials over there, that is in terms of cattle or food grains or agricultural commodities, seashells, different commodity we started using as money. But what was the issue? I already mentioned different features of money. It should be durable, it should be portable, it should be divisible. But assume that we are using a cow as a money. It can't, the possibility of porting that or the portability was very limited. We can't transfer or we can't carry all the time a cow with us as a medium of exchange. So again, in case of divisibility, at the same time we need to divide the money. It's not possible if we are using a cow as a cash. So there are so many problems we faced when we started a concept called money at the time of commodity. It is around 9000 BC. Okay, and later we moved to metallic. Metallic is very common. We studied in history. Metallic money is in form of gold coin, silver, bronze. We started using metallic money, and that was very good in that time. Okay, that followed it, and later in the last form of that, we started using paper currencies. In nearly 1000 years of history just have for paper currency. That means we have started to print currencies in different formats. Okay, and this is called fiat money or fiat currency. That means the value of that paper is fixing by some authorities. We know that we have a 2000 rupees currency which is in a color or which is printed in paper. So if the government says that from tomorrow onwards this is not valid, that paper, that currency will become just a paper. So the value of that currency is fixing by some authorities, that is called fiat money. So the money currently we are using is fiat money. Okay, that is all paper currencies. And updated form of this, we started using credit money or bank money. We are using some other physical equipment, for example physical papers, checks, depository receipts or cards we are using as a medium of exchange. But somehow we have some physical existence or some physical documents, evidence we have. For example, if somebody gives a 5 lakh rupees signed check for me, that is equal to 5 lakh rupees. So likewise, that is called bank or credit money. And the latest form is digital money, that we can't even see any financial evidence for that. Even in a check, in the just before the period, in the credit or bank money, we used to give checks and other draft. Even that case, if it's the bank is doing some other works, we have a physical document for that. But in case of digital, we are not even seeing the money from where to where it is transferring. And the latest version of digital currency, that is called cryptocurrency. So this is the way how money was traveled from the beginning of 9000 BC to the present scenario. Okay, that was the history of money, and now onwards we are moving to the revolutionary part of this presentation or the revolutionary part of the finance, that is called Bitcoin. So what is Bitcoin? That is the question. So I'm sure that many of you heard Bitcoin first, but somebody doesn't have knowledge about what is Bitcoin. So simply we can say that it is another currency. Simply like Indian rupee or US dollar, it is just like some other currency, but it has some specialities, some features. We can look. What is Bitcoin? First one, it is a digital currency. First form while comparing with Indian rupee and digital Bitcoin, in the case of Indian rupee we have a physical form, but in case of Bitcoin it doesn't have a physical form, it's only for digital. So it's a digital currency which is started in 2009 and which is a truly programmed one. Okay, and the next one, no regulation. We can go for Indian currency again. One more example, Indian currency is distributing by RBI. So they are fixing the amount, or they are fixing the value of that paper, they are printing it down, they are the distribution, all they have. But here no bank or no country have any regulation behind Bitcoin. We doesn't even know where it is started, and any country's bank or any country's reserve bank or a worldwide authorization or organization doesn't have any control over Bitcoin. That is the second speciality. We doesn't have any regulation over that. Here this is at the same time we can go for another advantage here. Even we can go for the normal finance area. In India, if we have some amount, for example 10 lakh rupees in my account, even I want to transfer into my friend, some authorities fixed some regulations. Even it's my money in my bank account, I can't transfer whenever I need or whatever amount I need. I have to follow some regulations fixed by RBI, some the bank or the internet is fixed some regulations. But in case of Bitcoin, if I have a Bitcoin, I can transfer to anyone at any time without any regulation. So in regulation we have two sense. First one, no authorization from any bank or any nation, and second one, nobody is to control from the transaction of Bitcoin. So that is the second point. And the third one is global but limited. If we have a Bitcoin, it's equal to you have an international debit card. Wherever you can go, wherever you can make transactions, wherever you need to purchase, you can use Bitcoin. But it is limited. Limited in the sense, Indian rupee, we know that India, the Reserve Bank of India is capable to produce more money, but in case of Bitcoin, it is limited. The maximum number of Bitcoin that can be produced is 21 million. And presently, we are almost complete 18.5 million Bitcoins was already mined. So the remaining is by the coming years, we are hoping that remaining will be mined. So the maximum number of Bitcoin can be produced is 21 million. So that's why it's called limited. No other money has the same facility or feature. And the last one, that is value fixing. How the value fixing? We said that there is no authorization, there is no bank, there is no reserve, any control over it. Then who is fixing the value of this one? The market forces like demand and supply. If so many people are ready to buy the Bitcoin, of course the price will increase. If people are not ready to buy, the value will be decreased. That's how the price of Bitcoin is fixing. So these are the basic features of how we can say what is a Bitcoin. It's a digital currency with no physical evidence or with no physical existence. And second one, no regulations. Any country, any reserve banks or any bank, any authorization doesn't have any control over it. Whenever I have a Bitcoin, I can transfer whenever I need it. And it's global but limited. If I have a Bitcoin, it's equal to, as I mentioned before, it's equal to an international debit card. And the last one, value fixing is not by any organization, it is just by market forces, just like demand and supply. That is what is Bitcoin. Now, this is another thing we want to understand, that Bitcoin is the beginning of something, which is something is very important and something is very necessary without government. So we can move anyway. Who? Third part of this presentation, that's who invented Bitcoin. So this is a question. We only have a name which is we all seen in just an article of 2009. Okay, so the name was Satoshi Nakamoto. He's a person who is a programmer he introduced, as we believe, because we doesn't even know whether it is a person or a group of people or just a fake name. It was introduced and we doesn't know who it is. Regularly, we doesn't have a correct address, a photograph, who introduced it as a group of people or an organization. We doesn't know. It has happened just in 2009. In 2009, an article was published in an article which is related to cryptocurrencies and named as Bitcoin. That's how Bitcoin was started. That's why we doesn't know anything about Bitcoin before that. How it is formed, who is behind it, what is the intention, we doesn't know how it is started and how it is functioning. So let's move to the fourth part of this session, that is how it is. So as I mentioned before, we doesn't have a authorization, we doesn't have a regulation by any bank or any country. We are just using some technologies. That's how it is running. So we have two technologies under here. First one is blockchain and second one is Bitcoin wallet. Blockchain is a common technology in nowadays which is using some of the governments started using some countries. Blockchain is simply we can say is a chain of blocks. Blocks means information. Once a information is created, it will be blocked and it will be kept as chain. So after the information, if any information coming after that, it will be created as a chain. So the prime thing related to blockchain is once it's created, it can't be edited. Okay, once we created any information or any transaction, that can't be changed again. So that's the basic technology using behind Bitcoin. First one. Second one is very common, that is called Bitcoin wallet. It's more or less similar to the Amazon wallet, or we have different wallet for different online purchases. So this is another thing, like if I have some Bitcoin, I purchase some Bitcoin which I already have, it will be given or it will be denoted in my wallet, like Amazon wallet or similar to our bank account. We can say that similar to our bank account, but it is only in the digital form. And the third one is there is no third party. As I mentioned before, if I have a bank account in Federal Bank and I am sending some of my money to my friend, I need a third party, or I need a bank server, a credit card agency or a clearing house for this transaction to be completed. But in case of here, if I need to transfer one Bitcoin from my side to my friend's account, there is no third party. I'm going to make it through the blockchain. So there is no third party like we are using so many UPI applications we are using to fund transfer right now. Like here, there is no third party. If I need to transfer my money or my Bitcoin to my friend, I can go it directly through blockchain. That's how it is functioning. And then how can we get one Bitcoin? This will be the interesting part of this presentation, because we heard something about Bitcoin. So how we can get one? There are three ways to get a Bitcoin. First one, sell online. For example, if we are selling something in OLX, okay, if I have a bike, I am selling it in online through OLX, I am fixing it at 23,000 rupees. So the customers are ready, they are paying 23,000 rupees for me and they are getting the bike. Instead of 23,000 rupees, I can say that I need one Bitcoin. So then if the customers, those who are ready, those who have Bitcoin, they can purchase it from me by giving a Bitcoin. That is the one chance how can I get one Bitcoin. And the second part is exchange. So presently we know that we can exchange one currency to another currency. If I have a dollar, I can convert to Indian rupee. Likewise, there are so many exchanges where we can purchase Bitcoin by giving Indian rupee or whatever the currencies. That is the second part. And the third thing, in the previous two things, we know that it is already the Bitcoin is there, and with the available Bitcoin, we are making the transaction. But the third one is called mining. This is how the new Bitcoin is generating. Okay, in the starting of this session, we said that there is only 21 million Bitcoins can be produced. So how the new Bitcoins is producing? That the process is called mining. The process is very simple. If me and my friend using Bitcoin, and if I need to make a transaction, just before I mentioned there is no third party. So somebody need to record my transaction with my friend. So those who are ready to record can try to record the transaction with me and my friend. There may be a lack of people are trying to record the same transaction. If anyone completed the transaction at the minimum time, he will be rewarded with a small portion of Bitcoin. That's how the new Bitcoin is generating. Okay, that's it. That the process is called mining. That's how the new Bitcoin is generating. And why it is, that's the fifth part of this program or this session, that is called why it is. What is the importance of why we need a Bitcoin or why need a financial revolution here? And very simply, it's called, the answer will be financial revolution, as I said in the introduction. There are three reasons I have to hear. First one, global currency. Even the finance or the world was globalized. We traveled a lot in all over the world. We doesn't have a global currency. Whenever we are moving from one country to another country, we have to change our currency or we have to use some other method. But if Bitcoin is going to again it's going to use worldwidely, it will become a global currency. That means, as I said earlier, if we have a Bitcoin, that's equal to we have an international debit card. Wherever you want, you can go. Wherever you need to use, you can use Bitcoin. And the next one, no restrictions. As I said, there is no restriction from the bank side and there is no restriction from third party. Whenever I need to make a transaction, I can go for it. And the last one is it's safe. As I said, the technology behind Bitcoin is called blockchain, and if something transaction is happened, it's not capable to edit. That means once it's created, it will be fixed. So any fraud or any other activities will not be happen here. And the most important or the interesting part is going to happen here. The price of Bitcoin today, the price of the Bitcoin when it was introduced. In 2009, the price of one Bitcoin was 0.5 cent. That means half of a dollar was the value of Bitcoin when it was introduced in 2009. And the first purchase was made by using Bitcoin is he gave 3 Bitcoin to get 1 pizza. That was the first transaction happened with Bitcoin. So now we can look what is the value of Bitcoin today. First I am going to show it in the US dollar value. That is 38,366.40 US dollar is equal to 1 Bitcoin today. And the price of Indian currency, when we are converting to Indian currency, it is today's value 28,03,010.82. That is the value of Indian rupee for 1 Bitcoin today. So I am going to wind up the session by this quote: Bitcoin will do to banks what email did to the postal industry. Thank you.